the first time you ever met Patrick Mahomes was when?
So I was at a Super Bowl in Houston, and this was the February before he came out in the draft that year.
Was this the Patriots winning the Super Bowl in overtime?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was that game.
Okay.
And I was at a party that his agent Lee Steinberg was throwing. And by some coincidence, I was paired up with Patrick at that to sit next to him at the event. I was receiving an award, and I think Lee had a little bit of something up his sleeve. He thought Kansas City might be a really good destination for Patrick, and wanted to make sure that we had a chance to meet. And enjoyed meeting him, not knowing that 3 months later he would become a Kansas City Chief.
Were you even aware that he was on anybody's radar screen in your building by that point you'd met?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was aware that he was on the radar screen, but really the focus really turned to him as we continued to go through the draft process and build our board that year. It became clear that Patrick was our guy.
Because I remember being on the draft set at NFL Network. It was in Philadelphia. The draft was in Philadelphia, and where obviously Andy Reid is well known. And when the Chiefs traded up, we all thought it was for Deshaun Watson. We all thought and then it was Mahomes. And everybody kind of looking around going, that's an interesting take right there. What did you think led to everybody say Mahomes was your guy? Like what was that moment, do you think, for you?
Well, I think it was really the work that Brett Veach, who's now our general manager, had done on Patrick over an 18-month period. And he every week would go into Andy's office and put a tape on Andy's desk and say, hey, you got to watch what Patrick did at Texas Tech this week. It's unbelievable. And after enough weeks of that, Andy was like, yeah, I get it. And so we continued to go through the process. He had a great visit here, really impressed the coaching staff, our personnel department, and we sort of knew at that point, he was our guy. And there were three really good quarterbacks coming out that year, and so a lot of people had Deshaun, higher, but our guys really thought that Patrick was unique and that Andy was the right coach to really unlock his special talent. And I think that's played out over the last 6 or 7 years.
I can confirm that.
Yeah.
That has absolutely played out. And then the ascension of Kelce as well. I mean, because we were just talking about it yesterday. We had Travis on our show, Clark Hunt, the chairman and CEO of the Chiefs here on the Rich Eisen Show in Kansas City. We had Travis on the show yesterday, and we were reminiscing about the first time that he was on, which was 2018. And he was, the guy who was wearing 87, which was, Gronk's number to a lot of us in the media, who had a really nice game as a tight end with some high ceiling ability. A little bit of a hothead, where Andy had to kind of take him aside every now and then. And to see him develop into a Walter Payton Man of the Year, first ballot Hall of Fame, and as I called him, first gentleman of pop culture now, is a remarkable transformation. And I'm wondering, what about your position in seeing what Travis Kelce has become in your world?
Well, he and Patrick are so special together. I think they each complement the other so well, and we certainly wouldn't be the team we are without both of them. But you're right about his career. He came in and was apparent that he had a really special talent.
Yes.
And you've got to give Andy the credit for that. And Andy knew Travis because of his older brother, because he had him in Philadelphia, and he had met Travis, and he felt strongly that Travis had an opportunity to be a really special tight end, despite not playing the position up until I believe his sophomore year in college. He'd come in as a quarterback, and you got to give Andy credit because Travis has been an unbelievable player, but also what a great leader, right? There's nobody in our building who works harder than Travis Kelce. at age 34, and he still wants it as much as anybody on the team. And I think, when you have a leader like that, paired with another great leader in Patrick, that really sets the tone for the locker room.
How many in your family have asked you to ask him for Taylor Swift tickets?
I do get a few of those requests.
How do you handle that? How do you handle this?
Well, the good news was that we had Taylor here at GAHA Field at Arrowhead.
Yes, sir.
Before they started dating. And yes, my family did make both shows. I was in attendance, and all I can say is what a performer. I mean, she's absolutely amazing. That first night, she went over 4 hours with 40 some odd songs. Never took a break. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. And little did we know at that point, that was in July.
Yes.
That 2 months later, that she and Travis would be dating. And so it's been absolutely incredible. So the good news is my family got to see her.
Yes.
But before the relationship took off.
So you didn't really have to then say, hey, Travis, pull him aside and say, what do you got, or anything like that?
No, I haven't had to do that, but I have gotten a few requests as she's been on her European tours, like, hey, why don't we fly to Paris or, to London so that we can see Taylor? I was like, well, you saw her in Kansas City. I mean, what could be better?
What could be better? There you go. I like that. Are you aware that she's potentially drawing up plays right now?
I've heard the rumor, yeah. And
actually, Travis did say yesterday that she is, because her attention to detail that she has brought to her professional career, the GOAT, if you will, of that career.
Yeah.
She is apparently bringing that attention to detail to make plays for 87, apparently, in your offense. So he said that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, when you're as talented as she is, I wouldn't put anything past her.
Yes.
And the good news is Andy's very open-minded, right? He lets the players suggest plays throughout the season, and they'll work on them and put them up on the board. So I could see Andy being open to it.
So you as the chairman and CEO of the Kansas City Chiefs, you're cool with this sort of thing?
Yeah, I am. I will say that Andy's fond of saying that he has a 51% vote on what actually goes in the game plan. So I know if she draws something up for us, it's going to be great, and Andy's going to vet it.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.